Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's top stories, in the United States, Tzu Chi's mobile clinic arrives in Milpitas, California to provide dental treatments to local residents. In France, we meet a volunteer couple, Zhenlong and Lu Yue, to see how they promote Tzu Chi's work in the European country. And we see how environmental protection is overlooked when it comes to industrial development on the west coast of Taiwan. In California, the United States, Tzu Chi's mobile clinic arrived in Milpitas to perform free dental services. This time, the mobile clinic will stay in the city in order to provide local residents ample healthcare opportunities and to recruit more volunteers who recognize Tzu Chi's ideals.
And 3.
As Tzu Chi members and other guests pull the red ribbon, it marks the beginning of the dental services to be provided by Tzu Chi's mobile clinic here in the city of Milpitas. Everything about the mobile clinic was started from scratch, from the deployment of the vehicle to its operation. Step by step, the clinic has become more established.
Staying at one location helps us to recruit more community volunteers, whether they are professional or non-professional. This way, everyone can gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi.
Offering medical services to the needy is not only a good way to promote Tzu Chi, but also an effective way to safeguard the health of the residents.
Many people, like the young people and seniors, really need. And so today is when you have a big hope now that if you have a problem, a dental problem, you have a place to go.
For those people not insured, Tzu Chi's dental services are like a gift from God.
Being able to
from now on, local residents can let go of their worries as they know there's a place where they will always be welcome.
Moving to China, in Lushan County, Sichuan Province, Wan Chenhai, who is in the architecture industry, built a dream house for his family some 8 years ago. However, his house was severely damaged by the recent Ya'an earthquake. Though devastated, the man is grateful that his family is safe and slowly recovering from the tremor.
Using coal to cook a meal is how quick survivors here cook. Ya'an quake survivor Wan Chenhai is busy cooking breakfast. This is Wan Chenhai's son Yang Yang. After the tremor, the little boy has been constantly waking up in the middle of the night.
Sometimes in the middle of the night, he will tell us that he wants to go home and check on it. I know as a man I shouldn't shed any tears, but I'm very sad.
Upon arriving at his home, Yang Yang is thrilled, and regardless of the debris left by the tremor, he runs straight into the damaged home. During their visit, Wan Chenhai constantly worries about Yang Yang's safety. When the tremor struck, Yang Yang was still asleep. The strong quake woke the little boy, and with no time to dress, Yang Yang's mother quickly took the boy and the two fled their home.
When the bricks came down, my wife quickly grabbed my son and held on to him tight.
Back then, Wan Chenhai was working out of town and had to travel hours to get back.
I had to go the other way around from Longmen Township to get home. I rode my motorcycle for 4 hours.
The home was personally built by Wan Chenhai, who works in the construction industry. Wan says the large cracks on the wall also represent the scars the quake left in his heart.
This is a house that I built with my 2 hands, and it took a lot of hard work and time to build it. Now I can't even live in my own house. I don't know what to do.
Every day, Wan Chenhai will pay a visit to his damaged home. Today, he shows us his garden on the attic.
You see, I planted many beautiful flowers. I planted different plants over here. And see, these are lotus flowers.
Seeing the flowers, Wan Chenghai finally breaks a smile. He tells us that after the strong quake, Yang was so frightened that he barely spoke for 3 days.
He wouldn't talk for the whole day and stay either in bed, or I had to hold him so that he felt safe.
Now, a month after the strong quake, Yang has started to laugh and smile again. One says Tzu Chi has speed up the recovery process for his son.
After Tzu Chi established the support center for children, Yang started going to school every day. Seeing the other children has made him feel much better.
After the tremor, Wan Chenghai and his family moved into the designated tent areas for quake survivors. He says in spite of the harsh living conditions, as long as everyone is safe, they can start their lives anew.
Also in China, Tzu Chi volunteers are promoting vegetarianism in their local communities. At the vegetarian cooking class in Kunshan, Jiangsu province, students learned how to cook a delicious meatless meal and hope to invite their family members to join them. Meanwhile, in Zhangzhou, Fujian province, a vegetarian restaurant owner who is also a volunteer provides free lunch every 1st and 15th day of the lunar calendar to enable her community to enjoy the healthy and environmental benefits that vegetarianism has to offer. Here at a vegetarian restaurant in Zhangzhou, Fujian province, the manager makes every 1st and 15th day of the lunar month a free lunch day to promote vegetarianism to nearby residents.
The event is well organized because vegetarian food is healthy and beneficial to senior residents like us.
Another customer came all the way from Jiangxi.
It is really delicious. I tried it last time and thought it was great. The restaurant is hygienic and the food is at an affordable price.
For those who insist on paying for their meals, the manager asked them to donate the money to Tzu Chi's Bamboo Coin Bank to pay the love forward. Meanwhile, in Kunshan, Jiangsu, students of Tzu Chi's vegetarian cooking class plan to invite their family members to join the good cause.
If you can make a vegetarian dish look delicious, your family would definitely want to eat meat still. My purpose in coming here today is to improve my culinary skills so that my family will fall in love with vegetarian food.
Students work together to produce strawberry jam and also plan to organize a vegetarian food fair to donate the proceeds to those in greater need. Continuing on Tzu Chi's work in Europe, in France we meet a volunteer couple, Zhenlong and Lu Yue, who prior to the new Tzu Chi office in Paris, turned their home into a gathering ground for the like-minded and devoted themselves to promoting the Buddhist NGO to anyone they came across. The pair also stayed in touch with Master Zhenyan's teachings through watching DaAi TV. Thanks to the couple's hard work, now there's a new Tzu Chi office in Europe.
In 1975, Cambodia fell into the hands of Khmer Rouge and everyone fled the country, including my parents, but I had no information on what happened to them. Even though that year France was accepting refugees, I went to Thailand first to see if there was information about my siblings and parents. Honestly, if you didn't know the whereabouts and well-being of your parents, wouldn't you feel distraught, on top of which there was just too much uncertainty? I searched for leads in any way I could. At the time, Cambodia was in a total lockdown. The only way was to find someone who escaped and ask them, "Have you heard of this person or seen this person?" It was like that. The level of despair is difficult to describe. Later, I got word that my parents died while escaping. I also learned that my siblings made their way here, so I came here to start over. We didn't have much financially and were feeling helpless in our lives. There was no assistance anywhere we turned, so we thought a better life awaited us in France. Then by a chance encounter, I met my wife.
刚刚开始是我进入慈济啦，那因为我要度他啦。
In the beginning, it was I who was involved in Tzu Chi, and I wanted to recruit him. So I asked him to watch DaAi TV. He saw how Tzu Chi benefits all living beings and doesn't have us just sit there and chant sutras all day long. The master asks us to be involved in our community, not just to sit there and meditate. So now he really likes Tzu Chi and its teachings, but then he wanted me to take charge and be a leader. I was scared to do it alone, so he told me, "I'll help you along for a year and see how it goes." And now it's been 11 years.
Of course, on the path of cultivation, there are always bumping patches, sometimes even obstructions, but whenever we see the Master's portrait, our troubles will ease. We want to keep walking in the Master's footsteps for all eternity. This is a very popular area inside the 13th arrondissement. Over there by the road there are shops, and when we walk over this way, the noise fades away. So we have named this area Francis Dharma Pathway.
Tzu Chi could not have opened its first office in Paris without the help of many people. For example, 2 Chinese nationals from Cambodia who lived in France for over 30 years volunteered to take on maintenance and repair work at the office and do an amazing job without spending a dime. And let's not forget Taiwan's ambassador to France, Lu Qinglong, who seizes every opportunity to promote Tzu Chi's work during his speeches.
Those who like photography are blockheads, because only blockheads would wait forever for a shot. When I took this one, I knew you would be a hit.
Taiwan's ambassador to France, Lu Qinglong, photography enthusiast. For a perfect shot, he can forsake eating and sleeping. But Ambassador Lu's conviction is even more evident when he works.
You got to seize every opportunity to market and promote Taiwan. For me, when giving speeches, I have a page dedicated to Tzu Chi, because Tzu Chi represents Taiwan's international accomplishment and love for the planet.
A Taiwan native, Ambassador Lu wants to share Taiwan's beauty and culture with the world. Familiar with Tzu Chi's work, he agrees that charity is a good way for the international community to get to know Taiwan.
People back in Taiwan probably don't know this, but our PET bottle recycling ratio has reached 96%, placing us first in the world. Our technology, developed by Tzu Chi with love, turns the bottles into blankets and clothes, which are then donated to people in need. Tzu Chi has done so much, and its deeds need to be better communicated to the world. When I praise Tzu Chi's work, my words are my guarantee, because my job is to promote Taiwan. I don't need to fake it. I speak only the truth. When people see that, they are impressed by our earnestness and exploits, and that brings glory to Taiwan. See how messy my desk is? This means that I really do have a lot of work to do.
Ambassador Lu's frequent use of Taiwanese helps make his colleagues feel at home. Although he has served his term and was due to retire, Ambassador Lu's exemplary work earned him another assignment to Paris. He was also recognized locally when a street was named after him.
Of course, I'm ecstatic, as I never thought this would happen. I think this is a representation of Republic of China's accomplishment here. I just happen to be the one who works here, but this is a tribute to Republic of China, Taiwan.
A saying goes, a rice stalk with a fuller ear bends lower. Remaining humble in spite of his achievements, Ambassador Liu continues to serve in silence, asking for nothing in return.
We're cutting this fabric to make a covering for that wall. Due to leaking, it has become quite filthy. We have already cut some.
When we purchased this office, the previous owner left the fabric here. They didn't want it.
Also giving in silence are two volunteers at the new Tzu Chi office in Paris who take care of all the maintenance and repair work, including taking care of clogged drains and assembling furniture. What is even more amazing is that they have not spent a dime.
All these were going to be thrown away. We collected them to use as tool bins. Instead, these steel bars were also discarded. After we brought them back, I just welded them into this shelf. We spent no money. The store here is made from discarded boards found inside a shipping container. I just nailed them together into this store. I strongly advocate reusing materials that have been discarded and are still in good condition when not putting them to good use.
Originally from Cambodia, these two men who have been in France for 30 years are known for their thrift, frugality and simple nature. Having worked all their lives, they have finally found their spiritual home and are now one of the first supporters of the new Tzu Chi office. In recent years, industrial developments have led to increasing pollutions on our coastlines, particularly on the west. Lawyers specializing in environmental law believe that the problems have arisen because Taiwan has no laws governing the use and protection of its seacoast. Although the Basic Environmental Act has been in effect for 10 years, Taiwan has yet to extend environmental protection to the oceans that surround the island. Here's more.
What we see now on the western coastline are industrial zones, industrial pollution and wastewaters.
In the Zhanghua coastal area, all you can see are highways, electrical towers, wind-powered generators, and the smokestacks. Natural habitats have been fragmented, bisected, and polluted.
This industrial zone was once Taiwan's largest mud flat, an area of ecological diversity. Now only the scarred coastline remains, and wastes are still being deposited in the sea.
Right now, the problem facing the Environmental Protection Administration is how to dispose of industrial waste and slag. What they hope to do is deposit it in the ocean, nearly 250 hectares of waste.
The Zhanghua coastal area is home to Taiwan's largest industrial zone and also has the most vacant land of any industrial zone. Trucks transporting slags and waste come and go, filling in the ocean with their loads. The Ministry of Economics also reclaims sea areas with coal ash from Taipower's Zhanghua thermal plant.
Now they want to fill in this area with coal ash. The color of the rocks is very strange.
There are great quantities of waste everywhere, a truly worrisome phenomenon.
This is a cinder likely containing heavy metals, also silicon, barium and aluminum. This is the Taiwan Power Company's plan for disposing industrial waste. It's already passed environmental impact assessment, but no one knows about it.
Following the Kaohsiung Nanxing plan, the Zhanghua coastal was the second area to be used as a repository for industrial waste. This large tract of land lies idle. All can be traced back to problems brought by development.
This is a structural problem, and the slag that we see is just the tip of the iceberg. It's the industrial structure and the governmental policy that create the problem. The EPA is also under pressure. They have to put this stuff somewhere.
There's already over 2,000 tons of corn ash here waiting to pass assessment and be buried, and China's Steel's plan to deposit slag here is also awaiting approval.
The Environment Impact Assessment report is merely a formality. There were clear laws regarding the use of the coasts. We could manage the situation properly. We wouldn't need to dump waste into the seas, and there would be no need to pass the EIA. We could simply veto it.
The Zhanghua Coastal Area Industrial Zone was the embodiment of Taiwan's economic dreams, but now the once beautiful coastline has become a repository for industrial waste. This is the price we have paid for industrial development.
In Malaysia, we meet a star from the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter, Yang Li-ying, who was a rebellious child when she was young. Thankfully, after joining Tzu Chi and seeing those who were less fortunate, Yang realized how blessed she was and decided to quit her bad habits and also became a filial child.
As a child, I was a total failure. I ignored my parents' feelings, and now I am repentant for my past mistakes.
At the seminar, Yang Li-ying bravely shows her repentance towards her parents and respectfully serves tea to her mother.
Mom, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my past mistakes. I swear I will change for the better. I will be filial to you, Mom. I love you.
Yang is a member of staff at the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter. 3 years ago, when she was 19, she became an employee of the Tzu Chi Foundation, which brought a profound change to her life. When Yang was young, she felt her parents always favored her younger brother, and later she became a rebellious child, drinking and hanging out with friends at nightclubs.
Before she joined Tzu Chi, she always talked back when I was trying to talk to her. She often skipped class. When her teacher asked to meet me, I made excuses for her, like saying she had stomach ache or a headache, because I didn't want her to be expelled from school.
Thankfully, after Yang started taking part in Tzu Chi's social service work, she realized how blessed she was as she saw people less fortunate than herself. So she decided to commit herself to serving the public. Now she is a devoted volunteer who has not only changed her attitude to her parents for the better, but also motivated her mother to join her in Tzu Chi.
Before, I was a confused child. Doing good deeds or being filial never occurred to me. When I joined Tzu Chi, however, I realized that these things are the most important ones, and I made up my mind to walk the Tzu Chi path.
Since she joined Tzu Chi, she has gradually changed for the better, becoming more considerate. She thinks of our feelings before doing anything.
Thanks to Tzu Chi, the relationship between Yang and her mother has improved, and together, this mother and daughter pair will walk on the Bodhisattva path towards a better future.
We end today's program in Japan. Tzu Chi volunteers in Tokyo seized the opportunity at their monthly distribution and held a mobile Buddha Day ceremony for the homeless. Though it rained on the day, participants put on raincoats and umbrellas to pay respects to the Enlightened One. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.